This video is about vision system maintenance and sustainability. It's targeted at maintenance planners, engineers, and anyone that supports production. Because once you have a few cameras installed, it's only a matter of time before questions of uptime and OEE eventually come your way with the demand for solutions. So hopefully this will help. To begin with, do you have a system in place to track the downtime minutes by machine, in particular, the downtime minutes for vision? If not, I suggest starting there and add some PLC logic to capture the downtime cost due to the vision system. So you have a baseline, because if you do improve it, how are you going to? This is the outline of this video. The first thing you have to do is actually nail the fundamentals. The lighting, lensing, and material handling. We have a separate video on this that I'd recommend, because when you walk through most factories, you can just glance at the vision system without breaking a stride and see problems with it. So first, address all these, and then you can improve upon it. The first thing, item 2, we're going to actually talk about is just display a live image. By displaying a live image of what the camera sees, the operators can help with troubleshooting. You can see, is the lens dirty? Did the camera get bumped? Did the light go out? And then finally, after that, the next thing you could do to quickly and easily cut your downtime is make known good images easily accessible. So known good image, or a reference image for each machine. You know, what does the camera see? What are the targets that it's looking for? What makes a good part? And that'll help everyone troubleshoot and refrain from reconfiguring a camera that actually found a bad part. Display a live image. That's the next part we're going to talk about. And here's why. If you do a Pareto diagram of all the different downtime reasons, you find that a dirty lens and the camera getting bumped are the two most common reasons. This is a pie chart showing the same thing. What do you do to reduce the downtime? Just add a live display. And here's an example of a live display on the left, and on the right you can see some individual detector results. So how does a live image help? Well, like in this case, you can tell obviously there's a problem with the lighting. Here on the left, if this is what a normal good image looks like, the operator will know if he sees the image on the right that the camera got bumped. You can see the different location of this nut and the location of the box, or we'll call it a fixture. This is a graph of downtime minutes by month. And sometime in February is when live displays started getting added to various cameras. So it incrementally helps as you add the displays and as people get used to looking at them. Once you've done that, it's only a few months until you're asked to reduce it again. And where do you go from there? So the traditional downtime analysis, which works really well, you take the other items from your Pareto, do a root cause analysis on each of the biggest ones, develop corrective actions, implement, monitor, and modify, on and on and on. For vision systems, you can skip all that and cut downtime minutes by a third again, just by capturing and keeping reference images, known good images, readily available to everyone. Here's a little background. You know, most of the problems happen on the back shifts. That's the time when people tend to work multiple departments, so you end up with people not familiar with specific machines. You have a less seasoned staff typically, and many people not familiar with vision. When you share known good images, if everybody knows where they are and how to find them, maintenance electricians, even machine operators, if that fits with your plant's corporate culture, but certainly maintenance supervisors and production supervisors and engineers, it can be a team effort. Here's why it helps. If we have this reference image on the left and we see this image on the right, we can tell that the camera got bumped. So before, with just a live image, the operator familiar with the machine can tell. But with the reference image, anyone can tell. There's the top edge of the box. The part was actually positioned wrong. It was positioned 180. How are you going to know that unless you're familiar with the machine or you have a known good image? And the last thing we want, now that cameras are easier and easier to configure, we really don't want the midnight guy reteaching this bad image as a good one. Believe me, it's happened. That's a horrible Monday morning. Anyway, here we have the reference image on the left again, and the image on the right looks the same. Here you can see the nut is missing. So you want to check the bowl feeder and nut delivery system instead of reteaching the missing nut as a good part. In this example, you can see the blades slid down, the position's wrong. How do you share known good images? One easy method is just display an AutoCAD drawing of the plant layout and capture the image. Use Microsoft Paint that comes with every computer to draw some boxes around the different departments, and you can make each of these different colored rectangles a clickable region and save it as an HTML file so people can bring it up in any browser. And the HTML file is nothing magical. It's a boring text file, and it can reside anywhere on any shared drive, wherever you would log your reference images. When you click on each department, it'll go to something like this. You could just use Excel. Which department, what's the machine name, where's the link of the known good image, the reference image. If you are archiving images, you could also have the link to the directory of the archived images. Back to downtime minutes by month, you can see here in the green an example when this web page went live right at the very end of May. And you can also see that the downtime minutes in the next 2 months did nothing. It stayed the same. At the end of July, there was a week and a half of rollout and training. Electricians and maintenance planners at the toolbox meetings one morning, and production supervisors were notified that this existed, and those that were interested were actually shown where it was, how they can bring up the live image, so that everybody knows it's an easily accessible resource. And once people see how easy it is, then that's when you start noticing reduction in downtime, and not before. There's a big issue about controls engineers doing IT, anyone other than IT doing IT. Nothing can ever be done except by the IT department, and they can't do it. But web pages are simple And if it were difficult, the internet wouldn't be popular. Again, there's nothing magical about an HTML file. You can use Notepad, the most basic editor that comes with Windows. It does take about an hour of Googling, max, with your simple editor to make your first intranet web page. And all an intranet is web pages, text files in an HTML format stored internally instead of stored on a web server on the net. Young kids learn to do HTML like this. And down here at the bottom, this is an example of some of the HTML you would use to map 3 clickable regions on a bitmap. And you do need to create the 3 different Excel files like we showed. And I'm just suggesting that because it's everywhere and it's easy. You could do it all in HTML. You save references on a shared drive. You create an image from CAD. Just with the image displayed on a CAD station, you hit print screen. You paste it into Microsoft Paint, which comes with every Windows machine, and use it to draw boxes around each department. And while you're in Paint, it'd be good to, when you move the cursor, it shows you the X and Y coordinates. Write down the corners of each box to code that in your HTML. And then save that text file with an extension HTML or .html in the same location as you have all your shared images. And then the key here is to share the link and show people how easy it is. And if you don't do that, as we saw for the first 2 months there's no reduction in downtime. You got to have a rollout. With no rollout, there's no cost savings. So I'm really encourage you to just start tracking your downtime minutes and run a pilot project. Try it in a small area. See if it works for you.